The permutation began as people struggled to ensure a king from their zone emerged as the new king. All zonal leaders and communities began to have town hall meetings in an attempt to look for a credible king who could emerge as Hexagon City king to succeed King Alele Williams on the exalted throne. Unfortunately, the younger generation who then desired to come to the throne as king or royal council members could not ascend the throne because corruption and injustice captured the reign of King Alele Williams. Money had become the god of the day, such that for anybody to elect any king, the citizens were now demanding their share of Hexagon City cake before they could perform their civic responsibilities. The young men and women in the city had to crawl under the tables of the older men and women to be able to get something for their survival because the situation became worse. The elders of different zones considered a new king should be an older person who will be tolerant, kind, and compassionate to the people, considering experience, wealth, and maturity. The women folk again started agitating for women to emerge as king and even village heads in the city, since Ugbebo did well when King Shidume appointed her into the royal council as she stood for integrity. And women now are claiming women emancipation, women equality, gender equality. When it was time for the election of the new king to succeed King Alele Williams, the prime zone nominated Ilori, while the even zone and all zones respectively nominated Ipinlaye and Inkeki. The women folk pushed forward Agnes to go for the kingship race. However, she got a very low vote during the election, and Agnes could not be elected as the only woman nominated by the women folk to join the kingship race. Earlier, Ipinlaye had declined to contest due to the threat to his life and positions that he did not hail from any royal family in the zone, and he was replaced by Makinde from the same zone because of the petitions sent by some of his royal family.
O Fifu of Hexagon City, I beg for your support to be king of our city, even though I am old. I have the experience. We work for you in development, agriculture, education, many things to work for our city.
The people decided to vote for Ilori as the new king during the election. Ilori was loved by all members of the zones, disregarding his background or exposure, but for his honesty and loyalty to King Babalola, King Lawal, and King Bello, under whom he had served before. Ilori had also contested against King Showumi during the late King Alele Williams contest for the throne. Ilori was elected the king of Hexagon City at the age of 70 and was enthroned by the chief priest on June 21, 1978. The new king brought about new changes, chances, innovation, and development. His reign started on a very good note. All and sundry believed in his antecedent and capability to rule the city with his change plan. After 6 months of the reign of King Ilori, Hexagon City began to experience a negative turnaround, while some members of his royal council became thorns in his flesh. Soon afterward, Ilori became incapacitated by a strange ailment, just like that of King Showumi, that made his head fail and he could no longer perform as expected. Members of his royal council took advantage of this and started doing things that were unheard of, which the king was not happy about. Those things that were experienced during the reign of King Alele Williams were similarly experienced during King Ilori's reign. even to the highest magnitude. Many of those appointed by King Ilori and also elected as village heads loved corruption. The education system in the city began to have a serious problem. The classrooms were locked up from primary school to secondary school, as the salaries and wages of the workers could not be paid for 5 months. When the king observed that the foundation of his administration was becoming shaky, he tried to sell off some of his city resources in order to cater for the children in the primary and secondary schools in the city, who are pillars of tomorrow of the city. As soon as he had sold some of his resources in the city to pay salaries for the workers in the workers in the only higher institution in the city, Calculus University, also went on strike, and the strike of the workers of Calculus University lasted another 4 months. Strike now then became the order of the day in his kingdom. When teachers called off the strike, doctors in the local hospitals also went on strike, including market women, as there was a day all market shops were locked.